Welcome to Aired Out, brought to you by Capitol Showplace Montpelier and Paramount Theater Barre. At FGBtheaters.com, CW Print and Design in Barre, at CWPrintDesign.com, Peak Entertainment, PeakDJ.com, Cruise Planners, your land and cruise experts. In Vermont, CruisePlanners.com, Donnybrook Fight Promotions of Williamstown, CBDCrave.com. Presented by CVTV, Public Access Channel 192 and 194, CVTV723.org, Fontaine Forestry and Millworks, Route 14 East Montpelier. Custom orders, rough, kiln dry, plain, tongue and groove, or shiplap. FontaineMillworks.com and Fly on the Wall Productions. Now, let's get aired out.
Wednesday night. Happy Halloween, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Aired Out tonight. I'm J.D. Green. Our show presented by Gothiers Quality Grounds and Maintenance of Orange. It's not just a job, it's a passion. Project Independence, active adult day health services right here in the heart of Barre on North Main Street. PIBarre.org is the website to check out. Fontaine Forestry and Millworks of East Montpelier. This beautiful table that you see each time you tune in to Aired Out, made by Mark Fontaine himself. We love him over there, just below Bragg Farm, right there on Route 14. And Fly on the Wall Productions, and of course, Central Vermont Television, CVTV at 723. CVTV723.org is the website to check out all the local programming, what's going on here in our backyard. Our supporting sponsors, Peak Entertainment at PeakDJ.com, Donnybrook Fight Promotions all over social media, DonnyBrookFP.com, but check them out on Facebook for sure to see about what's coming to the Barre Auditorium this December. FGB Theaters, Capitol Showplace, Montpelier, Paramount Theater in Barre, and home of the FGB movie card, $5 ticket Tuesdays. Get on FGBtheaters.com. CW Print and Design in Barre, run by the gals over there, all five of them, Molly and company, and man, do they do a great job. It's probably because I don't have any guys in there complicating things, but man, they turn it around fast and they do outstanding work. Cruise Planners right here in Central Vermont, land or sea. Start planning that vacation now. Yourvoyageplanner.com. Donna Sherman will help you out and take all the legwork out of it for you. Roger Hill saying, wash out tomorrow on Halloween, but fear not, trick-or-treaters. We've got Barre Gardens Nursing Home here in the Granite City, opening their doors at 6:30 tonight for Halloween fun. Tons of candy, music, and refreshments, and just a whole lot of fun. The candy, by the way, donated by our great community. So we thank you so much if you were one of the many that donated candy for tonight at Barre Gardens, 6:30. Bring the kids inside. Chad Hollister, November 9th at the Barre Opera House. We'll be there. Cannot wait to have my good buddy Chad. He'll be on the show, I think, next week. Wow, it's almost November. BarreOperaHouse.org to grab your tickets while you can. Filming for the Batman movie expected to begin later this year or early 2020. So excited about that. As a matter of fact, this is how excited I am, guys. Check it out. This is just part of the Halloween costume that I'm working on. Wow, does that look bad on camera? Billy, edit that out. Anyway, we can't because we're live, and I have two incredible men with me tonight. Let's start with our mayor, Lucas Herring, who needs no introduction. The guy's amazing. He's probably one of the busiest dudes that I know, who's running around nonstop. I don't know how you do it, but you're juggling multiple pins at the same time, brother, and you haven't dropped one yet, at least that I know of.
Well, thank you for having us here tonight.
You're doing a hell of a job, man. How long has it been since you've been at the wheel here?
Well, it'll be 2 years come March.
2 years this coming March. Wow. Now, what about this guy next to you, Steve England? Where do we begin with him? Recently completed his term as Sons of the American Legion Detachment of Vermont Commander.
That's correct. Yes,
I have that right.
I love it. And you got it right.
Woo! and was just honored at the American Legion State Convention in Burlington at the end of June. Lucas, you and I were there.
Yes.
What a busy
that was
guy.
our annual convention for the state of Vermont. The national convention was actually...
And you were there for that, too.
At the National, yes, sir.
Yes.
How does your wife, Lisa, put up with all this running around?
Honestly, she usually is with me.
Yeah, I know that.
And that
I know.
it's great. I mean, that just, I think it keeps us young, keeps us active,
Yeah.
keeps us involved. And
Yeah.
it's a big part of our relationship.
Number one supporter.
Absolutely.
Gotta be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it without her. Could not.
So you stepped down as detachment commander?
That's correct.
And that was this past spring?
In June.
This past June,
Yes.
yes.
So it was,
So
it was
past
basically
2 years.
a 2-year term.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was that like?
Stepping down?
Stepping down.
It's different.
Yeah.
You get so used to being out 2, 3, 4 nights a week sometimes.
Sure.
Plus your weekends, and you're going all over the state, meeting incredible people,
Right.
seeing all these fantastic things that our Sons of the American Legion group does. And all of a sudden it's kind of like, whew, you put the brakes on. I mean, I'm still involved, but it was like the first couple of weeks, oh, we don't have to go anywhere tonight.
Yeah.
I don't have to make a phone call. I don't
Well, Lisa's been telling me that you've been spending a hell of a lot more time sitting around on the couch watching late night television and eating pizza and stuff like that. Is that all true?
That's probably true.
Yeah. Yeah. You have done such a great job. The two of you obviously have partnered up and worked together
Absolutely.
quite a bit. But you've done such a great. You are so well liked, my man. Everybody likes Steve England.
Do they really know? I don't know.
Really, I mean it. You're just such a regular dude.
JD, I'm going to tell you, everything that we have done in the Suns is because we have a fantastic team.
Yeah.
Like I told the guys early on when I first took the position, I'm just a lucky guy that gets to tell everybody what a great job everybody else is doing. And, that really showed when we went to National Convention.
Yeah.
Our detachment was on stage 6 times.
Sure.
And one of them was for this gentleman here. He got a special award that they don't give it out every year, but it's called the George B. Evans Grassroots Veterans Advocacy Person of the Year. And Mr. Herring got it.
Tell me more about it, because he won't. I want to hear it from you. Tell me more
This
about
involves being involved on the Capitol Hill for Vermont, doing all kinds of things with our senators, making sure that the legislative agendas that's being voted on concerning veterans gets out to everybody. So he was doing that as legislative chairman for the detachment of Vermont. So this was like, all the time, just making sure that people knew what was being voted on, how to contact your senators, plus just all the other connections he would make with the media, social media,
Oh, yeah.
the newspaper, and everything. And
He knows it. He knows how to do it. And he does it. And he does it very
absolutely,
well.
absolutely.
So, Mayor Lucas Herring, you got a guy next to you who's got a few years on you, pretty much has his finger in everything in and around central Vermont. He's involved with all of them. Not a bad teacher.
Well, like he said, it's a great team to be a part of. Even though he's no longer the commander, if you look on the side of his cap here, it says chaplain.
Yeah.
So he still is a part of our detachment team.
Yes.
I'm the historian. That's my role. But we all wear many hats. I mean, that's
true.
kind of what this shows. Is
Yeah.
Even when you step down from one role, you're in another. And maybe he's watching a little more history, but I know that he's just as involved in his other roles, especially with our own squadron here right in Barre. He's been pivotal in making sure that the Thanksgiving dinners, for example, go off without a hitch. We actually received an award last year for the continuous, I believe it was 20 years.
20 years.
Of serving the community with that free dinner on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. That Thanksgiving meal is something that every year I would get busy, wrapped up in multiple things. Sometimes I would forget that it's coming up. Working at Froggy 100.9 all those years in the morning, this guy was just breathing down my neck saying, hey, man, when am I coming on? When am I coming on? I got to talk about it. Promoting the goodness, the greatness that so many people are involved with, you really have done an outstanding job. You, Ron Tallman.
Yes, absolutely.
and many others. I mean, I know that there's others out there, but you've just done such a great job, buddy. So many of us were bummed to see you step down, but we also have to understand that you've got some living to do.
Got a great guy that stepped up to take, the next step as our detachment commander.
Yeah.
It's a gentleman named Dave Hendy out of Castleton, and he's doing a good job. He's doing a great job. He's motivating our guys, and he's forging ahead. So he's right into it. That's good. It's real good.
A few years ago, you got the scare of your life. Lisa got the scare of her life as well, as your partner in crime, that you were diagnosed with cancer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So where do we stand with that?
Well, I'm going to say thank you, Lord. We are going into 4 years of being negligible. I'm not going to call it. I mean, I guess the doctor actually used remission. Will I ever be at zeros? Probably not. But I don't care. It's not It's not moving. It's not, bothering me. So thank God. And I'm going to tell you, JD, you don't even know until you're in that position the support, the love, the prayers that just from all over is overwhelming. It really is. People that I don't see but I've known for years. Was very blessed to be a recipient of the Bikers for Beth in 2015, and that was incredible because here's people from all over the Northeast. There was a guy from Long Island. There was people from Maine and Massachusetts that I've never met in my life, and they come and they shake your hand and they hug you and say, we're with you and we hope the best for you. And just like, oh my God, I'm sitting there just like,
yeah. Oh yeah. And here's the thing. If cancer knew what kind of relationships and love was generated and formed out of its disease, it would probably be pretty ticked off because like you said, you became great friends with people.
Absolutely.
Strangers.
Oh yeah. And it's still, like yourself. I mean, people that I've known, they're always like, how you doing? And I'm very thrilled to tell them, so far so good. So,
unfortunately, there's a good number of people, fortunately and unfortunately, that can relate to what you're going through.
Yes, absolutely. But
does the cancer diagnosis scare, if you will, does that have any? Does that play any role in stepping down at all and refocusing your horizon?
No. I mean, I took time off when I went through the surgery and the radiation and like that, but really just for that short time, and then we got right back into living.
Wow.
But I remember when we were at the urologist the first time and got the diagnosis, I looked at Lisa and I heard that, and so I looked right at her and I looked at the urologist and said, it's not going to beat me. It's just not. And that's been my attitude right from the start. And again, with the support and the love of the people around me, that's happening.
You're trudging on. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Lucas, tell everybody what in the heck is going on Saturday. There's a lot happening this weekend right here in Barre.
So this year is our 5th anniversary for the Granite City Run Walk for Veterans. It's an event that has changed over time. It actually started out as an idea with the Barre Partnership, and we've partnered with different entities over time, but right now it is the Sons of the American Legion partnering with the Elks Club, and we're raising funds for the Veterans Place over in Northfield. And so what it is we have it a day. Everyone will show up around 8 o'clock. The volunteers will be there a little bit earlier, and the registration will start. You have people get together. The race itself will start at 9 a.m., and it starts with the runners and the walkers to follow. So they'll actually leave from Capstone Community Action right at Gable Place. They'll take the bike path. There's an existing section right on Enterprise Alley. They'll head over on Metro Way. They'll head up Prospect Street and down the bike path all the way almost to Barre Town. So if you take that section that goes by Barre City Elementary Middle School, it basically ends at Bridge Street, and you turn around and come back. It's a timed event, so we have a timing company that's out there. We've already received letters of support from both of our delegation for Senate. So Patrick Leahy and Bernie Sanders have provided letters saying thank you for what we're doing. So when everybody does get back, there's another component to it. We have a silent auction as well. There's over $1,900 worth of gifts that are out there that people can, just bid on, see if they can get it for one thing, but it's all donated. So
From area businesses.
And all that will be proceeds that go in, along with the donations from groups like Community National Bank, 802 Cars, and Absolute Spill Response. There are 3 top sponsors. So we don't have a total number yet, just because we have to get in all of the registration money and all of the money from those silent auctions. But I can definitely say it's more than double that what we raised last year. We have just as many racers as last year already, and we're not even at race day. So it's an event that's growing.
Really?
Yes.
That's cool.
It is cool. It's been growing each year. The number of people that have been involved, it's a different team this year doing some of the recruiting, but I want to give kudos to those that have helped in the past. I mean, they did some layman's work for sure to get everything in place, making sure that the awards are in place, that we do have a correct timing company, that the shirts that were provided are made local at a good quality that we can provide to the runners. So they have a value, not only that they're donating, but they can have something that they remember the event by.
What do you get if you win? Because I'm very concerned that there's a possibility that I could win this race.
You could.
So
if
you don't
sign
know.
up,
It's possible. What are you laughing about, Steve?
if you sign up, there's different age categories, and it's by gender as well.
I would be in the 18 to 25 category.
So in that category,
Yeah.
you would race against others that are your same age range, and you have the chance to win a medal. It's actually a designed medal based on the same logo that we have on our shirts and that you would see out on the flyers.
Now, are you going to be running?
I have signed up. It all depends on the day of events. If
Right.
things need to have more volunteers in more places, I would
Yeah.
do that because it's needed.
Right.
But if I have a chance to run, I'll hop in there with everybody else.
Steve, you?
Maybe if it was a long time ago.
That's so cool. And this has been going on for
Yes, the 5th year.
5th year.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I was going to say a couple of years anyway.
Yeah, and we've had the who we donate to change over time as well. In the first iteration, it was half the money would go to the downtown lighting program. So during the holidays, you
Yeah.
see in the gazebo the different lights that were there.
Sure.
Or on the lampposts on Main Street.
Yeah.
So, we thought it was a little misleading that half the funds would go to one place and half to the other.
Yeah.
So this past year, we decided that all the funds were going to go to one veterans organization, and that's really what the intent is for.
Yeah.
So the Veterans Place, it's local. It's in Northfield, and they provide transitional housing and other services to those that are in need. So speaking of here in Barre, we actually had a proclamation for ending veteran homelessness. We found out that they do track the number of people that are identified as homeless, and then they can actually give demographic information, and there are 17 identified individuals. So the number isn't that large. And if we work with places like the Veterans Place, which is transitional housing,
Yeah.
and then pair them with the services they need for ongoing housing through private landlords, for example.
Right. And
then-
maybe even a touch of vocational help, too.
Well, right. So they get some of the services they need in that transitional setting, but then they can provide for themselves, or at least have a voucher in place that will provide for them for that additional housing further on. So
I think the last time that I had you in here, we were chatting a little bit about homelessness and how do we find out which ones are veterans. Not that it makes it any different, but I think we were chatting a little bit about that, and you were telling me that you got some irons in the fire.
yeah, and the irons came together. So
Yeah.
And it worked out well because we ended up having a housing forum here in Barre where we were able to reach out to a number of landlords about other issues, and then they just stepped up to the plate and they said they'd be willing to participate.
Wow. That's so cool. What else? I mean, and we can go anywhere. There's no rules here, but what else can we talk about? And you and I didn't get a chance to chat much before the cameras came on about what's going on at Barre right now. But what else can you tell us? What else is happening? And the partnership is cranking. I mean, they're just cranking.
Sure, I'll try to go chronologically.
Yeah. I mean, we had a great summer.
We did. I mean, the
Homecoming.
Heritage Festival was great.
Yeah.
But just looking forward. So today is Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday. So
God,
tomorrow,
I have to ask myself constantly.
tomorrow, Thursday is Halloween. So
Yes.
we'll have Halloween in the downtown, 4 to 5 p.m. Speaking
glad you
of the
remembered.
partnership. This past weekend, we actually had a Halloween parade as well. So
Yeah.
Main Street was closed down for a short period of time. We actually had a meeting with the Sons of the American Legion that I left, changed into my Captain America outfit.
Is that what it was?
Yes. Wow. And then I went back to the meeting after. So, right, wear many hats. You just got to find time for things to.
And we didn't
to
even know
happen.
the difference. No.
Yo, I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, we have a lot of great things happening. It's called the Working Communities Challenge. So last night at City Council, we're partnering with about 50 different organizations to apply for a $300,000 grant. The intent is a 50-word statement right now that we have to submit based on the requirements.
50?
A 50-word statement. We actually had more people.
That's painfully
More people
small.
involved, more individual businesses involved than we did words in a statement that we applied for this grant. But what happens is, from that statement, we're hopefully going to have a $15,000 exploratory grant received. And from that, within a month, we have a full-blown application to apply for $300,000 to systematically change some of the systems here in Barre.
Break that down a little bit more specifically if you can.
Well, I really can't. So at this point, it is, if we receive that $15,000, the groups are going to come back and start meeting on what a project would be and what it would look like and how they can work together. So systematic change really means, are we operating in all of these separate silos where I might be serving someone in the community with housing and you're serving them for some other support, but we never talk? And that happens a lot. You know, there's a lot of people that are just doing what they do.
And doing a great job of it.
And they can be.
Right.
But there's always ways to come together and work together better. So as we were talking about before, you were mentioning like Ron Tallman.
Yeah.
So we have other groups like that, like the Barre Area Veterans Council, which is the different veterans organizations, and they come together and do a lot of the work. Like the flags on Main Street will come down on November 15th. So this year, they're actually going to be partnering that group of veterans organizations with the Barre Partnership, so that as you're going around the downtown, you're not going up the pole once to take down a flag and then going up again to put up the new banners for the holiday banners, but you partner together and you just go up that pole once and do it all at the same time. Awesome. So it's ways to make sure that you're finding efficiencies and just people doing what they're doing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What do you, Steve, for the folks out there who may not know what the Sons of the American Legion is, what the heck is the Sons of the American Legion? I mean, it's basically, if you are an offspring of a veteran, you can be part of this organization.
Sons of the American Legion, if you want to call it the definition,
Yeah.
you have to be a male descendant
Okay.
of a veteran who has served in, during wartime. Fortunately, it used to be limited to, there were the dates of service, you want to call that, were limited. And President Trump signed the Legion Act this year. It opened the dates up, so everything, World War I, and then December 7th, 1941, on forward. So now anybody that served in any capacity in the military during that time can be a Legionnaire. So what that means is, for the sons, if you are a son, stepson of that person, grandson, you can... Grandson, absolutely. My grandson's a SAL member. He was,
That's cool.
From day of birth, you could be an SAL member. Then you're eligible to join your organization, which is a program of the American Legion. So the American Legion was chartered in Congress back in 1919. We were chartered in 1932. So we are our own organization, but we're still under the umbrella of the American Legion.
Okay.
So just one point. This is the 100th anniversary of the
American
Legion. So there have been a large number of events, and that's why the Legion Act, I think, had as much impact as it did. It is the centennial. So, talking about the legislative items, those are the items that we were contacting Peter Welch, Patrick Leahy, Bernie Sanders, to make sure that they all signed on to say, yes, this is something that we should be doing. It shouldn't be just you can be a member of our organization because of these dates. You are a veteran. You have served in different capacities. It might have been overseas, not during war, but you still did activities that were similar to what a wartime happened. So they did. They accepted it, and we're very thankful.
Absolutely. Okay.
And we're keeping it as alive as we can
Yes.
with trying to promote and trying to extend some outreach and maybe even bring these organizations into the forefront of modern times with social media, which is
Absolutely.
huge.
That's been a big push within the Sons of the American Legion. The use of Facebook and just has gone like that.
I'd almost say
And
it has to.
Well, yeah, we're really encouraging our squadrons to do that, and sometimes these guys have been used to not doing that, but it's a big thing. And one of the basics you asked the question about, what is the Sons of the American Legion? I mean, our basic core is founded on the principles of the American Legion. So you've got national security, Americanism, children and youth, and veterans affairs and rehabilitation. And so all of our efforts come out of those four, categories.
What's expected of you if you join the American Legion or the Sons of the American Legion? What's it cost? What are you expected?
The cost is different around the state. Some squadrons, the membership might be $20. Other squadrons, and I understand perfectly the thinking, they will pay the same dues rate as a Legionnaire because they say they're the ones that served. Why should we pay any less? Here in Barre, we don't, but we're about halfway there. But we
Is that $20 a month?
it's $25 a year.
A
So
year?
It's cheap. That's cheaper than one night at the club, if you want to call it that.
Wow.
But we are involved in all kinds of community support programs. It could be BYSA. It could be giving money to. We have one Legionnaire, actually, her daughter is involved in beauty pageants, so we've helped her raise money for that. Senior care. We worked with the Veterans Council doing the stand down when they did that up at the Barre Odd.
Oh, yeah.
Thanksgiving, there's always something where you can do good, with our efforts.
Yeah, so it's both volunteer hours, and you can also commit monetarily if you want to. Right. So just for Thanksgiving, for example, we're going to have a number of volunteers that create the meal, but then there's also other volunteers that deliver the meals to people's homes. So
you're one of them.
yeah, if you can't make it down, we'll you call in and we can make sure that you get a meal. Yes. But it also costs money. So we do have people that chip in donations, or similar to the 5K, there are businesses that help out as well.
Wow.
Those other programs, like we are supporting the Veterans Place through the 5K. There's the Dodge House, which is down in Rutland, that does similar work, and we make sure that they can sustain themselves. Down in Brattleboro, you get the Vets Home. Over in White River Junction.
Yeah.
There's a number of organizations that we're trying to help support so that they can be in operation to support our veterans.
How many birds are going in the oven
We
this
usually
year?
cook between an average about 40.
Wow.
And we'll get them all prepped in one day.
Yeah, I know.
We've got some secrets.
I know.
And I'll tell you what, our squadron commander, Denny, he's been doing this right along for a while.
Denny's
He's the
animal.
man when it comes to the cooking end of it.
I know.
It's fantastic.
I don't know if Denny saw, last year I went back for seconds on the apple pie. I was trying to duck and dodge. I don't think he saw me. But you can go back and have some more if you want.
Absolutely.
It's such a feast.
Oh,
it's such a meal. It's
we're
great.
thrilled to do it. And the gratitude you hear from the people, and especially for us, particularly the veterans, but they just they're so thankful, and we're thrilled to do it. It's our honor to do it.
Yeah. What happens with the leftovers? I've always been kind of curious.
Well, there really isn't an awful lot.
Really?
Well, what happens is a lot of the people that come in, they'll say, I've got somebody else at home that couldn't make it. Can I get a couple to-goes?
Yeah.
And, of course. And
Right.
we might, I think last year we took some, we did have some leftovers we took over to the Good Samaritan House.
Yeah.
And they were like, they were thrilled.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Or we took some to
We deliver
Enough
to,
Ministries.
Yeah, we also deliver to the police and fire department too.
Yes.
So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
they're stuck there on a holiday, so we try to make sure that on Thanksgiving, and there's another program for Christmas where we try to make sure that they have meals.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. We should say for the elderly folks, and we should say to everybody that may not be elderly, but if you know someone that is elderly, get a call over to the American Legion
Yes,
soon,
absolutely.
here in the next couple of weeks or so, and get your name and address on the list for a
Absolutely.
meal.
We'll be putting flyers out in the high rises,
Okay.
and it'll be on the radio and in the world.
Yeah.
But absolutely, if somebody wants a meal or meals,
Sure.
call the post.
Sure.
And actually, the hours there are 3 to 8:30 during the week, but they can also leave a message on the answering machine.
Sure.
So,
Are you guys going to the Joe Biden fundraiser that's coming up? I just had to ask because it's
Actually, I didn't even know he was going to be here until you told me. So,
right.
honestly,
I had that $1,000 set aside for something else, but
well, here's the thing. He's planning a fundraiser at the home of Bill and Jane Stetson in Norwich, and the price to attend starts at $500 and goes from there. But you're encouraged to support the campaign by contributing no more, please, than $2,800.
yeah, no, honestly, I pay more attention to community and local events.
Boom.
yeah,
I think that's what we're trying to show
absolutely,
here.
absolutely.
So speaking of which, you're
Yeah.
trying to ask other things that are going on. So
There's so much,
There
man.
is. So the
There's-
Pearl Street Pedway, I don't know if you've heard about this, but we have a ribbon cutting, or hopefully it's going to be a switch turning on, which is the new walkway that will take you from Main Street to the back parking lot on Keith Avenue. So there's a monument that's been placed out there. Sean Williams created a beautiful monument. So we want to make sure that it's protected with the lights. It's also, since you get to the back parking lot area, we want to make sure that's lit as well. Council on Tuesday also approved for the back of the Wheelock House. That's the building that the Barre Partnership went in the front.
Yes.
The back of it has been approved now by council to be used for a teen center. And it's pivotal that we actually say that, because that is what opens the door for us to actually request funding. Before it was, if we don't know where our location is, then you can't really reach out to different funding organizations.
You've been kind of advocating for a teen center for a while now.
I have. I think it's a need for our community. I mean, the library's been doing a good job of trying to provide a space, but a library is also not a space that's just for children.
Sure.
And you want to make sure that, especially those that are 13 to 17-year-olds,
Yeah.
they have the correct environment to
Yeah.
get the services that they need.
Right.
To have, counseling services, or maybe receive either food or other supplies
Sure.
that they might need that, our community
Sure.
can provide for them.
A place to go after school, especially
safe
during
place.
the long winter months. You still want to be with your peers. You want to have fun. You want to have a good time. Maybe you got some homework to do, whatever it may be, or just hanging out. And it's a warm place to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's great. What else? Trick-or-treating, by the way, what time does that start?
4 o'clock
4 p.m. tomorrow?
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. You know it's going to be raining.
Well, and it is going to be raining, and it's going to be windy. So
Yeah.
for those that can make it out, just make sure you dress appropriately.
Yeah.
I will be downtown as well. I'll be handing out some items myself.
Great.
And I know a number of other individuals, the Post. So
Yeah.
that's what we call the building that the Legion and the Sons operate out of.
Yeah.
So the Post actually donates candy that will be handed out right in front of basically where Community National Bank is, right where the driveway is there.
Okay. And parents, just obviously stay with your kids. Be safe. If you can wear some bright clothing, that'd be great. It's going to be raining hard, as you just heard Lucas say. It's going to be windy. Be careful, especially crossing the road. The visibility is going to be poor. It's going to be kind of a crappy weather day tomorrow, but a lot of fun in the Granite City. Anything else that we can think of coming up on the horizon? We got
well,
the
the one thing-
Christmas parade coming up, right?
Well, before we even get there, I mean, we haven't talked about even just Veterans Day. That just is coming up.
The 11th.
So on the 11th, we'll have a parade in the downtown, and it'll end up at City Hall Park if the weather's good. So if the weather's not good, we always have a rain location, which is up at the auditorium.
For the ceremony at the
For the
end?
ceremony.
But the parade still happens.
If the weather is horrible, the parade will be canceled, and they'll just move it inside.
Okay.
So,
I
I mean,
understand.
we do that for Memorial Day,
Yep.
for Veterans Day, for the different events, just because we don't want people to be outside in ucky weather.
Right. And we also say any veteran is invited to participate in the parade.
It's true.
Just be there.
Yeah, just come.
Get lined up. Barre Auditorium. What time?
Around 10 o'clock.
Around 10 o'clock.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that we march down so that we're at City Hall Park by 11.
11 o'clock. Okay.
Yep.
We got the Veterans Meal on the 8th.
And we do.
Oh, right.
So at the
Elks.
Club, there's a veterans meal. It's the clubs, again, coming together, helping each other out to make sure that veterans have a free meal.
So what's this? $10 per person. You get the roast turkey dinner. All veterans eat free.
That's correct.
And this is at the Elks Lodge, 1535 on Jefferson Street, which is probably one of the best venues for stuff like this. And man, do they do a great job.
Oh, yeah.
They do such a great job. But the Barre Area Veterans Council is putting this on. That's the big umbrella that you boys were talking about.
Right. So, I mean, the Elks, where this is going to be held, that's one of the organizations, along with the American Legion, which the Sons are a part of, the Auxiliary, and the Riders. Right. And then you have the
VFW.
Yeah, Veteran Foreign Wars Post 790.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So we all come together. We all make sure that veterans are supported.
And how's Sue doing?
I believe she had her surgery yesterday.
Yeah, saw that.
Haven't heard anything negative. So
Good.
It's good.
She's doing all right?
As far as I know.
Still driving with the Ladies Auxiliary?
Yes.
She's still...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, actually, it is not the Ladies Auxiliary anymore.
Okay.
Act of Congress changed that last year at their national convention, and it is now the Auxiliary.
Oh.
So it's open to... They combined...
Wow,
what was the
interesting.
Ladies Auxiliary along with what was the Men's Auxiliary.
Yeah.
So it's male and female.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of change based on gender nowadays.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah,
if you
everything.
don't identify as male or female, or maybe you change.
Right.
Does it mean you have to change organizations because of it?
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
I mean, that's one thing that's changed on their end. It hasn't
Sure.
changed for us yet, for the
Right.
Sons of the American Legion.
Right. But it has changed for what was, and people have always called it the Ladies Auxiliary in the Legion, but it's never been the Ladies Auxiliary. It's just always been the Auxiliary to the American Legion. But it was all female. At National Convention this year, that also changed so that the spouse of a female veteran
Could be part of
could
it.
be part of that. So
Yeah.
if they couldn't be in the Sons, they
Yeah.
can be part of the Auxiliary now.
So important to keep these organizations
Oh,
vibrant and keep them alive.
Yep.
Keep them going, man. Times are changing.
Yeah, and the amount of good that comes out of that.
Of course.
I think the national totals last year that we read, and this is just the Sons of the American Legion, nationally contributed, was it 6 million hours of volunteer service and $10 million in donations. Now, this is only 28% of the detachments around the country reporting what they turned in. Mm-hmm. That translated into, because of the value of the volunteer hours that the federal government allows us, I think it was somewhere, everything all said and done, in the neighborhood of $60 million. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And so the beauty of that is that time and money is then funding services that the government does not have to pay for.
Yeah, right.
We are, as an organization, covering some of that, a lot of that
Grassroots.
cost. And like I said, that's just 28% of the detachments reporting. If everybody reported what they did,
Yeah.
it would be astronomical.
I got a note here from Lisa England that says the Sons of Vermont just hit a huge milestone for the first time in at least 10 years, and it happened under Steve's leadership.
What do we do?
I'm assuming that we're kind of dabbling in what you're talking about. Maybe. I don't know. What do you think, Lucas?
Well, there are
Lisa, what the heck was that about?
there are a number of actual pinnacle things that we have accomplished over this past year.
Yeah.
We actually, Steve mentioned 6 awards on the national stage.
Ouch.
One of them was for our Children and Children Welfare Foundation contribution per member, and it was the highest.
We were the highest per capita in the Eastern region. Okay, now we've got just under 4,000 members, but so per member, we donated more per member than states that have 67,000 members,
Isn't that
30,000
something?
members. You know, not total numbers, but per capita, and that's like at least I want to say the third year in a row, 4th year in a row that we've done that.
Way to go, Vermont.
Oh, we had an amazing bunch of people.
So, and I also want to give a shout out because I see CW Print Design is one of your sponsors.
Yes, they are. We love them.
So we proposed a history book. It's one of the award categories, and it was actually printed through CW Print Design, and we won the national award for our history book.
Best history book.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That is so cool. We have so much to be proud of and for in this little green mountain state. It's just remarkable. And here in central Vermont, we're doing great work. Lucas, we're still so happy to have you at the helm of the Granite City, the man with the keys, and we love you, buddy. You guys, I say this every time, but I really mean it. Come in here any time you want. And that's extended to all of you, anyone who's even remotely involved with veterans and anything you got going on in the city. If we need to know about it, and if we need to know about something immediately, right here is where I want you, Lucas.
Yeah, anytime you want me.
You guys are fantastic. Don't forget about that Veterans Dinner on the Friday, November 8th. What time's they serving that up?
6, I believe.
6 o'clock? Okay. 6 o'clock. And $10 for non-veterans.
Yes.
Bring your grandfather, your father, your mom, doesn't matter. Come on out and enjoy a great meal. You will not walk away hungry. And again, they do such a great job over at the Elks.
So one other thing I do want to add, just because it will be on display during that meal, Vermont has what's called the USS Vermont Commissioning Committee. They are commissioning a nuclear-powered submarine. It's a Virginia class, which means the big ones, and it's going to be named for the state of Vermont. So they will have displays. We've been collecting money for the commissioning, and what that really means is every time they create one of these vessels, there's a send-off for the crew. So they want to make sure that all the services are in place for that crew. They receive, I'll call it a care package, but basically things that are memorabilia for them in their service and what they're about to do. Wow. These are individuals that spend many, many months at sea, away from their families, in defense of our country. And with this vessel, it's the state of the art. It's going to be it's the newest version of this nuclear power submarine that's out there. So that will be christened. Well, it's already been christened, but the commissioning will be next spring. It'll be early. The date hasn't been solidified, so we just say early spring. But watch for it around February, March, and we'll have a solid date that we can let you know about.
All right. If you know a veteran, if you liked tonight's show, please like it here on YouTube and share the link. Share as much as you can. If you know a veteran, maybe if you're a veteran yourself, get it out there on social media. The link to tonight's show. Good luck with the 5K race on Saturday. This coming Saturday, right here in Barre. Proceeds again going to the Veterans House, the Veterans Home in Northfield. Yes.
And the weather looks like it's going to be rainy for Halloween, but it should be nice weather by Saturday.
Yeah.
So if you come on out, it might be 35 or 40 when the race kicks off, but as a runner, it's actually a nice thing. Because you're going to be, warm.
Not that we would know, Steve. Not that we would know.
A long time ago.
A long time ago we knew.
In a galaxy far, far away,
Thank you, guys. And make sure to support Central Vermont Television, CVTV, your local cable channel 192 and 194, CVTV723.org. Tony Campos and the rest of his team generously letting us use his studios to host this podcast twice per week. Fly in the Wall Productions. Let's see, Fontaine Forestry and Millworks of East Montpelier. Project Independence. They're going to be in here real soon, right on North Main Street in the heart of Barre. Doing some great stuff here on the podcast. I just cannot wait to have them on the show. And, of course, Gauthier's Quality Grounds and Maintenance of Orange, our great presenting sponsors. We will catch you soon, very soon. Chad Hollister coming up next week on the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Have a great Halloween tomorrow. Come on out for the trick-or-treating at Barre Gardens Nursing Home, which is starting up in about 25 minutes. And just take care of each other and have a great night. We'll catch you real soon. Thanks so much for subscribing to Aired Out.